I've been a working artist in New York for the past 13, 14 years, and really interdisciplinary practice with community building and really thinking a lot about decolonization through my drag and through community and with community members through queer community, especially in nightlife, but also expanding to now kind of national and global communities through digital media. And a lot of my work lately in decolonization, I think we'll probably talk more about it, is I'm a child of Puerto Rican from my mother's side, and then I'm a child of the so-called Philippines on my father's side. And I use the term so-called as in to just point out that it's the colonial name. So the Philippines is a colonial name for that. Last year, I did a show called Untitled America, which featured about 51 other artists. And this was really exciting because I thought about, again, we'll talk about this now, but like, what does it mean to be tied into, of course, a lot of the Black Lives Matter movement and, lots of introspection and time to really thinking about, how does white supremacy enact itself in this country and what are ways to combat that? And there's lots of ways. I think drag is a really radical art form that really gives voice and place to so many people. And for me, I consider drag a part of decolonization because, at its base form, it, fucks and dissolves gender binaries, which is a colonial ideology, which is not, an indigenous ideology. So that's one thing. I tried to think about like, wow, like I don't know like a whole sampling of what drag is going on in this country, especially like trying to empower the voices of Black, Indigenous, people of color, queer drag artists. So that's where Untitled America came about. And so I did a kind of a broad reach out to the various artists of color and come up with work that they felt best represented themselves and best represented what did it mean to be an LGBTQIA plus person of color in the US today. So there was that show. And then from there, I feel like quarantine and, was a really great time for people to really think about things undistracted. I was actually really thought of it as a blessing, quarantine, not COVID, but that all this time, it's very easy to get lost and swept away by everything going on and to not really focus on like what you really want to do and like how you're contributing and how you can be affecting yourself and affecting your community. So there's a big question I thought about and tried to enact in these projects. So it really tried to blossom in these projects. So from America, which was amazing. I mean, that project, not only, did it bring all these artists together, but I got to meet and also share all of these messages and it's relationship building. And then this is one thing that it really taught me was that your queer community is not just the people that you can see on a daily basis. They're everywhere. We're everywhere. And it's a really untapped thing that we have all this access. I mean, at least, here to be able to see and really share this work. And I was like, just a simple message was something to be like, hey, I really into your work. Or do you want to be a part of the show? So then this grew into doing Untitled World. And I was like, what could world be like? So I feel like quarantine also was a time where I was like, dream big, envision big. And what could that be? Because America, I never thought I could ever do that.